Greetings and salutations. Um, Welcome to episode 3 of The Selfish Adventure. And I think I'm going to title this one The Unhappy Narcissist. So let me first of all make a distinction between narcissism and selfishness, because they're very different. Selfishness, in the general terms, the way we describe it, selfishness is about, always wanting to fulfill your immediate needs, your immediate desires, and a myopic focus on your own goals, your own pursuits, to the detriment of everyone else's. And you might think, well, how's that not narcissism? Narcissism, I would say, I believe, is far more malignant than that. It's far more chronic than that, and it speaks to a deeper seated issue, and it's more has to do with your makeup, the way your brain works, as opposed to something that you can overcome, or something that you can one day move past and realize was not the right way to be. And across the street here, let me see if it's good. Looks like it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, before I go any further, there's a mallard duck right there. Can you see it? Can you see that little guy waddling along with his green head? Look at that. I hope I was giving you guys a good view of him. Oh man. I don't care what I'm doing. Anytime I see a mallard duck, I pause and I appreciate it. And I'm sorry if, when I held up the phone up or the camera up, I hope the view of that mallard duck was good. If not, I apologize. And you can always Google a picture of a mallard duck and stare at it in order to make up for that. So anyway, now I just want to talk about mallard ducks. No, I gotta stay focused. Selfish adventure, selfishness, narcissism. Why the unhappy narcissist? Well, we do use the words narcissist and selfish interchangeably, sort of carelessly in today's culture, and I try to make the distinction here, to try to emphasize that I do think there's a distinction, but I might kind of use them a bit more interchangeably, just for expediency's sake for the rest of this. But I think ultimately, and this may sound like a Hallmark greeting card sentiment that is kind of shallow and not very deep, but hear me out. I think that narcissism and being selfish ultimately doesn't make you happy. And you might be saying, no shit, Sherlock, but let me go a little further. We're a culture, it's all about consumerism, and all about the product, and all about filling ourselves, and it's just endless suction. That's how we operate. It's how, the capitalist system operates. It's all about, endless production for endless consumption, and it's just a circle, and it goes on and on and on. And of course, we need to consume. We need to eat. Of course, as humans, we need to. But it's a system that rewards selfishness. And like I said, I think that selfishness and narcissism are different things. But I think that selfishness taken to an extreme And like I said, it is that's what narcissism is. It's an extreme form of selfishness, but it's not the same thing as just baseline pure selfishness. It's a heightened form of that, and it's also something that is not that has to do with your brain, has to do with the way you think about everything. You know, you can have narcissists that do good things for people and help people, but they're doing it ultimately for themselves. And this whole project, this whole thing I'm doing, are you trying to drown me out, bird? That bird has something to say. He's trying to tell me. You can hear how loud he's being, but he can't tell me because he doesn't speak English. And, you know, I'm sad now. I was pumped earlier by seeing the mallard duck. That did put me in a good mood, but hearing that bird chirp so clearly trying to, I don't know if he's trying to warn me about something or, but gosh. I'm sorry, buddy. You can keep trying, but I don't understand you. I'm sorry. Anyway. It's such a, like I mentioned Hallmark and greeting card sentiment earlier, it's such a Hallmark and greeting card sentiment to say, oh, obviously you're happier when you're not selfish. You're happier when you help others. And I'm trying to make the point that that's true. But, you know, a response to that could be, well, what if I help others? What if I'm nice to people and they're not nice to me? Great, now I gotta compete with cars. I'll just talk louder than them. What if I am selfless, I treat people the way they're supposed to be treated, I'm nice to people, and then they treat me like shit? What about then? What was the point of all that? And the point of all that is that you have integrity. And integrity is still important because, you know, integrity is, a sense of integrity at least, is integral to happiness. And when you treat others right, just for the sake of doing it, not because it serves you or helps you in any way, just because it's the right thing to do, and you can divorce that from any religious context too. I certainly do. When you do that, you have personal integrity because you will know for yourself that you have done your best to treat people the way they should be treated. And you can look in your past and see the times you haven't done that. So I certainly have. We all have, of course. But what you can do is you can realize that your own that you see, this brings me back to, I think, the biggest questions humanity struggle with is why, you know that song, Why Can't We Be Friends? I think, why can't we be friends? And why do we treat each other like shit? And why does humanity continue to do that to this day, even after we can look at history and we can look at all the course of human history and see how it's just not worked whenever people have treated other people like shit. It's always turned out badly for those people. We can't seem to recognize that because I think it does come down to selfishness and ultimately to a lesser extent narcissism, because the point of my title, The Unhappy Narcissist, is it never makes you happy. You never are fulfilled when you're selfish. You never are fulfilled when you're a narcissist, because it's endless consumption. You're in a mind state of endless sucking and sucking in everything around you for your own personal gain. I'm gonna have to cross a busier street here, so give me 1 second. Whoops. Running. All right. Now I'm safely nestled in a nice little cul-de-sac. Goody. Okay. So, when you're in a mindset or in a state like Kirby, where you're just sucking in everything all the time to serve you, you have no integrity. And without integrity, you're always in the back of your head, never satisfied and never content and never happy with what you have. So ultimately, the state of being selfish and the state of being narcissistic will always hurt this planet. It'll always hurt the human race. It'll always hurt everyone around you if you live your life like that. So take away from all this, don't be selfish or don't be a narcissist. Yes, but it's also, the other takeaway you should have from this is just understand that it's not gonna make you happy and it's not gonna be worth it, because you will have no integrity. And I know I might be pausing a lot more than I sometimes do in these, but I think this is going to be a shorter one in general than the other ones usually are. And I also want to say that I want this, the whole format of the show so far has just been me talking. And I kind of think that this episode's going to be maybe not the end of that, but pretty much the end. But because I am definitely gearing towards having conversations with other people, having a more produced video of some kind. Nothing too crazy because I'm working on other projects too, but I think I've gotten that point out of the way, and now I'll just pivot to say that going forward, these episodes are going to take a little bit of a different shape. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.